Hello everyone, my name is Leo and we are group 11. Today our group is comparing word order patterns across three languages, Mandarin, Japanese, and Togan. And our presentation is organized into four main parts. First is the introduction. Second, we present data from the three languages. Third, we compare the languages' similarities and differences. And finally, we end with a conclusion. And next, I will begin with the introductions. Our project focuses on how different languages arrange subjects, verb, and objects, especially when using transitive and intransitive verbs. These two class types let us clearly observe how each language positions its main elements. The three languages we choose represent three major word types. Mandarin is SVO, Japanese is SOV, and Togan is VSO. By comparing them, we can see how different languages with different structure handle the same kinds of sentence. Let's begin with Mandarin. For intransitive verbs, Mandarin allows two possible word orders, SV and VS. For example, 贼跑了, the thief ran away, use SV, the basic order with a definite subject. But 跑贼了, a thief ran away, use VS, which introduces a new or indefinite subject. This shows that Mandarin uses word order to mark information stats such as definites. Since Mandarin has no case marking, word order directly affects how the sentence is interpreted. For transitive verbs, Mandarin allows several structures. The basic form is SVO, as in 我买书了, I bought a book. Mandarin also uses the box constructions like 我把书买了, where 把 marks the object as definite and affected. A third option is OSV, as in 书我买了, used when the object is the topic. This example shows that Mandarin has high word order flexibility, especially compared with Japanese and Togan.
Japanese word order works in both transitive and intransitive sentences. Japanese is fundamentally a grid SOV language, meaning the verb always appears at the end of the clause. In a basic transitive sentence, the normal order is subject, object, verb, such as this sentence, Taro ate an apple. However, this order can shift when the object becomes grammatically important. If the object is topicalized, given information, or the center of the discourse, Japanese allows it to move to the front, producing OSV or all topic SB structure. For example, in this sentence, meaning as for Hanako, Taro found her. Hanako appears first as the topic marked by wa. Even with this flexibility, the verb still rigidly stays at the end. For intransitive verbs, the structure simplifies to subject plus verb, and again, the verb remains final. Sentences like this, because Taro was hungry, or this one, the window was broken one, show that even with different semantic roles, the verb position doesn't change. Overall, Japanese allows some movement inside the sentence, depending on information structure, but verb final order is non-negotiable.
Hello everyone, I am Jibo. Next, I will introduce the word order about Togan language. Based on these examples, we can see that Togan is a strict VSO language. This means that the verb always comes first in a neutral declarative sentence. In these examples, the case marker A played the absolutive role, which means the subject of the intransitive clause and the object of the transitive clause. The case marker E plays the ergative role, which means the subject of the transitive clause. For this systems, we call the ergative absolute case marking. This is the central organization property of the Togan syntax, and it is visible in argument marking and many syntax behavior, such as movement. After introducing these three languages, we compare their similarities and differences. Now let's take a look at what similarity they have. Firstly, they all distinguish transitive and intransitive predicates. Each language has a way to mark or signal whether a verb takes an object. Secondly, word order plus markers work together to show grammatical relations. For Mandarin, it's primarily word order, as all has function words like ba, bei, and context. For Japanese, the particle like ga, o, ni, wa mark rows even when order changes from the SOV to OSV. For Togan, a VSO language that also uses case or row markers, it often analyzes as the active and absolute particles to disambiguate the rows. In short, none of them relies on word order alone. They are all combined position with the particle or morphology. Finally, all three languages have both active and passive voice. The passive voice places more emphasis on the patient rather than the agent, enabling reader to better catch the key point of the sentence.
When we compare these three languages, we see clear contrast. Mandarin follows the basic SVO order and has no case marking, so word order is the main indicator of grammatical rules. Because of this, it's more rigid in terms of interpreting who is doing what. Japanese, on the other hand, use case particle like ga or o, which allow more flexibility for the noun phrases while keeping the verb fixed at the end. Togen is even more distinct. It's a VSO language, meaning the verb must come first, and it is an ergative absolutive case system to mark its core arguments differently from Mandarin or Japanese. Putting everything together, Dogen is rigidly verb initial, Japanese is rigidly verb final, and Mandarin is verb medial, but relies heavily on fixed word order for grammatical interpretation. These three languages illustrate different strategies for encoding meaning through case, word order, or both, and help us understand how typologically diverse languages structure their sentences.
To conclude, our comparison shows that three languages display very different word order systems. Mandarin is flexible, Japanese is word final, and Togan is verb initial. Mandarin varies word order to express topic, definiteness, and information structures, while Japanese and Togan rely more on case marking to show grammatical roles. And overall, transitive and intransitive verbs clearly show each language's strategy for organizing subjects and objects. Thank you for listening.